So it's the same questions that were on the quiz that I'm going to be going through with you now, the very same questions. But the answer I'm giving you now is the answer that I was expecting you to get on this. So let's start with the first question. Two things I'm going to be asking for each one of these questions. And the answer to that will determine how I do the question. The first question I'm going to ask, and I asked the question the last time, is it simple interest or is it compound interest? And it's a very simple question to answer, because if you don't see the word compound in the question, it means it's simple interest. Let's just be clear on that. Look for the word compound. You don't see compound, it means it's simple. So that's the first thing I'm going to be asking. The second thing I'm going to be asking is, am I trying to get the amount of interest only, or am I trying to figure out how much money I have with the interest included? So with the interest included means I put money in at the start, so I'm expecting to still have that money plus the interest. Okay, so if the question is asking just how much interest I've earned, then I'm not including the amount of money I started off with. If the question is asking for how much money I have total, it includes what I started off with plus the interest. So as I read each question, as we both read each question, as we all read the question together, that's the thing you need to ask yourself. All right. So let's start with the first one. The first one says you put $562 in an investment at 3% compounded daily for 7 years. What will the balance be at the end of the year? By the way, the order on this is not the same order as it was in the quiz, but it's the same question. All right. So I'm going to ask you each in turn. I'm going to start with Elijah because you're top of the list right now. Is the first question simple interest or compound interest?
Or compound interest.
Because it says compound right there. I'm going to underline the word. It says compound. So that's the first thing. So we're either going to use the compound, well, for all the compound interest questions, we always use the compound interest formula. But if it's interest only, then at the end of the formula, we have to do one more step to get the interest only. And I'll show you what that step is in a minute. But let's start off with, let me see who this is. Let me see if there's somebody who is trying to get into the room. 1 second, please. Kurt Bryan. Okay, no, that's not. All right. So Elijah, you're right. It is compound interest. Let me ask Kaja this question now. Is this interest only, or are they trying to figure out how much money I have, including the interest? Your time.
How much they want you to find, including the interest?
Exactly. So we're just going to use the compound interest formula. Let me remind you what the formula looks like. So A is equal to P 1 plus I to the power of N. The P is the 562. I'm going to answer that question for myself. But the I and the N is going to depend on the compounding period. It says compounding daily. So Mohammed, your time. What happens to my I?
0.03 divided by 12.
Not by 12, no. Compounding daily.
365.
There you go. And then I'm going to have to adjust the time, which is the N. This is the I, by the way. The N is going to have to be adjusted because I'm going to take my 7 years and multiply that by the same thing that Mohammed just showed, the 365. So here's my formula. It's A equals the 562 multiplied by 1 plus 0.03 divided by 365 to the power of 7 times 365. So for all of you now, I'm going to ask all of you to work that out for yourself and then give me what that works out to 2 decimal places. That's key because sometimes I saw people got it wrong, not because the answer was wrong, but just how they presented the answer. So I need all of you now, all, 3 of you, to go ahead and put your numbers into your own calculator and tell me what you're getting for that answer. All right, I'm going to go back to Elijah for his answer. I'm going to keep cycling through all of you. So Elijah, give me your answer, please, for that.
All right, hold on.
The rest of you should be working it out just in case C might make an error so that you can correct him, okay?
I got 562.0.
No, I hope you can see my calculator this time. Let's see if I can do a better job than I did the last time. All right, so here's my equation, right? So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start by putting 562, open the bracket. I guess you can't see that very well. Okay, that's a little better. I'm just looking at the screen here. 562, open bracket, 1 plus 0.03 divided by 365, close my bracket. Can you see what I'm putting in the calculator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raised to the power of, now hopefully your calculator is similar to mine, 7 times 365. I'd like you to try that for yourself now, Elijah, and let's see if you get a different answer this time.
Oh, I got 200, 05. 205.
No, you can't get a number which is less than 500 because that would mean that somebody is stealing your money. You put $562 in the account. You can't have $205 coming out.
Wait, hold on. Let me just do it again. Hold on.
No problem. Take your time. KJ, did you get a different answer? Don't tell me what your answer is, but did you get a different answer?
Yeah.
You did. Okay, hold on to it for a second. Mohammed, did you get a different answer?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on to it for a second. Let's see if we can get Elijah to do it. I haven't pressed the equal sign yet because I want to see what he gets and see if it's the same as what both of you got. By the way, Elijah, you know how to use the power key on your calculator, the thing that raises it to a number, right? You know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And don't forget to use your brackets. That's important.
Well, my calculator's not working.
No, you know what I think it is? Here's what I'm going to suggest. When you raise it to this number here, start with a bracket and end with a bracket. I think I know what's going on. Try that. When you raise it, on my calculator, I don't have to do that, but yours may need to do that. So don't forget this part. You have the, let me scroll back and show you, right? I have the 1 plus the 0.03 divided by the 365, close the bracket, don't forget your brackets, raise to the power of, and then it's 7 times 365, but make sure you put that in brackets as well.
All right.
I'd love to see you get it before we ask somebody else, because I think you can get it.
Then you have to do the 7 and 35, right? Multiply.
7 times 365, 365 days in the year, 365.
Okay.
And don't forget you're dividing 0.03 by 365 as well, because it's daily. All right.
I got 1436.
Let me hear what Kaja got first. Let me go to Kaja. Kaja, what did you get?
I got 693 and 32 cents.
And if you can see my calculator, that's exactly what I have. Of course, it doesn't round it. You have to round it for yourself. But Elijah, that's what you should be getting. What I'm going to be asking you to do is maybe show me what your calculator looks like. Turn your camera on for a minute and put your calculator up to the screen. I want to see what your calculator keypad looks like. Mohammed and Kaja, just give me a minute just to see what's going on here. So just hold for me, please.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm going to put the other question under the camera for you to look at. You should recognize that question from the ones that we did. Okay, turn around the face of me, please. Okay, so which key are you using for the power? Show me the key you're using for power. When you said, let's put 2 to the power of 3 on the calculator.
All right.
2 to the power of 3. You haven't got anything there. You have nothing to the power of 2. I want 2 to the power of 3. I want to know what 2 to the power of 3 is. Okay, let's see it when you do that. Two to the power of 3. Okay. What if I ask you for 2 to the power of 3 and the 3 has to be multiplied by 5? Show me what you do on your calculator. That's right. So press equals now, you should get 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do now is I want you to do 2 to the power of 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, right? But I want you to put the 3 and the times the 5 in a bracket. So it's 2 to the power of, open bracket, 3 plus 5. I want you to try that. Not 3 plus 5, 3 times 5, sorry. So you're raising 2 to the power of 3. It's going to be a big number, by the way. Don't be surprised when you see the answer.
Times 5.
Times 5, yeah. 2, yeah, that's not going to be right because you need a bracket around the 3 and the 5. So after you put to the power of, you have to open a bracket. When you put that little up arrow, open a bracket, then you put the 3 times the 5 and then close the bracket.
Right.
Okay, try that quickly for me, please. Then we'll get back to the other questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
Perfect. That's the correct answer because now you're taking 2 to the power of really 15, which is what 3 times 5 is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're doing a question like the one we just did, you have to put the 7 and the 365 in a bracket. All right?
Right.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Let's move on. All right. You can turn your camera back off and we're going to move on to the next question. So where am I at now? Mohammed, your time. You take out a loan for 446 at an interest of 9%. Hopefully you can read the question. I can bring it down a little bit more.
No, no, it's good.
It's good? Oh, let me bring it back up then. Okay. So
Yeah.
you take out a, well, let me just get that. Okay, there we go. You take out a loan for $446 at an interest rate of 9% compounded monthly for 6 years. What's the total amount you'll owe at the end of the 6 years? My question for you is, only asking one question, simple interest or compound interest? Which one?
Compound.
Okay, you see the word compound, there you go. And Elijah, your time. Am I asking for the interest only or am I asking for the amount which includes the interest as well? The two things combined. What do you say for this question?
It's going to be the amount.
Yeah, in fact, the word amount is in the question. So the compound is a clue and the amount is a clue. So let's put this together now. So I'm going to say I'm not going to write the formula down again. You already have the formula. So I'm going to say that A is equal to the, oh, by the way, what's the I and what's the N? Let me go to Kaja now. Kaja, what's the I in this case?
The I is 0.09 divided by 12.
Perfect. And Mohammed, what would be the N in this case?
The N would be the N would be 6 times 12.
Perfect. Okay, so let's get going. So we have 446, 1 plus exactly what Kaja just said, 0.09 divided by 12, raised to the power of exactly what Mohammed said, 6 times 12. Now, remember now, you're going to have to put that 6 times 12 in a bracket, Elijah. Don't forget that, okay? All right? Okay, so I need you, in fact, back to you again. I need you to put that in your calculator now, and let's hear what your answer is for that. All right, so 446, 1 plus, and bracket here, clearly see. In fact, I'm going to put a bracket on mine so that you can make sure you put a bracket on yours as well. So the 1 plus the 0.09 over 12 raised to the power of 6 times 12. And then, of course, times 446. So take your time, plug that all in. Let me hear what you get.
Wait, is the one just going to be 0.1 or just?
This first one here is just 1, just the number 1.
Right.
Plus 0.09 over 12. So there's a plus, then a 0.09 over 12.
Right. And then that's 6 times 12?
To the power of.
Okay, okay.
All right, and then the 6 times 12 is in a bracket.
I got 3,235.
No, I might have to let you show me what you're putting in the calculator because I'm not getting that for that question. So put your camera back on again and show me, don't change what you have in the calculator. I want to see what you put in the calculator, okay? So just put your calculator under the screen, under the camera, and I want to see what you enter. Don't clear it out yet, okay? In the meantime, can I get Keja's answer for the same question?
I got 763.80 cents.
Perfect. Now, again, in this case, I'm not taking away anything because I'm not asking for the interest only. When I asked about what are we trying to find here, the answer that you gave me was correct, which is that I'm trying to get the amount, which is everything. Okay, so 446, 1.09 divided by, okay, I can't see what you're dividing by. Just move your thing over just a little bit. No, go back, there's a little, you see that little circular button on the calculator, right? Just scroll to the right a little so I can see what you entered. That is, yeah, right, that thing right there, perfect. Just put it back after you. I want to see what you entered. Because the first part is right. 0.09 divided by 12. You see, didn't put to the power of. There you go. The power of is missing.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying, Elijah?
Oh, so okay, so 6 power 12.
Yeah, so you close your bracket and then you say to the power of. You have to put the power of in there and then the 6 times the 12, all right? And then you close that other bracket as well. You have to put the power of in there. Make sense?
Yeah, hold on.
So I want you to try again, please. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be asking Mohammed now to tell me about question 3. Elijah, we haven't forgotten you. We're going to come back to you in a minute. But for question 3, is this simple interest or compound interest? If you can see question 3 on the camera, read that to yourself.
It's compound.
Perfect. And Keja, am I asking for the interest or am I asking for the total amount of money?
It's the interest.
Perfect. So we have one more step that we haven't done yet. Okay, so while Elijah works on that, you said it was compound, you're right. You said it's just the interest, you're right. So I'm going to need to have my I and my N for compounding semi-annually. Just give me 1 second here, please. Just going to get some water. Okay, I'm back with you now. So, Elijah, you ready for us with the calculation? Did you get that, the one before?
All right, just give me like 5 seconds real quick.
Okay, no problem. So the I and the N. Keja, how do I adjust this I? Here it's compound, but what do I do with the 6%?
You divide it by 2.
Good. So 0.06 divided by 2. And the N, what if I just stick with you? What do I do with the N? How am I going to get the N?
You take 4 and you times it by 2.
Well done. Well done. Okay, so here we go. 754, so A equals 754. Then I'm going to have 1 plus 0.06 divided by 2. You're absolutely right about that. To the power of, I'm going to say 2 times 4 or 4 times 2. All right, Mohammed, can you give me your answer for that? Oh, sorry, I'm kind of tilting the page a little bit there. Can you give me your answer for that? And then we have one more step in this one that we didn't have before. So you tell me how that looks to you on your calculator.
$955.14.
$955.14. I'm going to write that down. 955, sorry, 955.14.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get the same thing, Keja?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is, we only asked for the interest. So what's that one step that we haven't done yet, which we have to do now? There's one more step left for this question. Does anybody know? I put in $754 and I got out 955.14. So the rest that was extra must be interest, right? So how do I get the interest?
Do you subtract 754 by
There
the
you
amount
go.
you just made?
There you go. So 955, keep writing 995. 955.14 minus the 754. Whatever that number is our answer. Okay? So I don't know where Elijah is. Elijah, are you there?
Yeah.
Or how are you doing with that previous question?
Is it 763?
Yeah, 0.80, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to do this for us now. If you look under the camera, you'll see what we're doing. We took the amount that we earned in total, including the interest, but we only wanted to know the interest. So what Kay just said is we take away what we put in initially. So I needed to do that subtraction for me right now to get the final answer. Go. This is a 955. My apologies for how messy it looks. So you're just subtracting those two numbers, that's all.
I got 94760.
That doesn't sound right to me. You're just subtracting 955.14, taking away 754 from that. Just subtracting those two numbers.
Wait, hold on.
Pardon me? Yeah, but you didn't put the decimal point, 955.14. There's a decimal point there.
Oh.
Okay, what's the answer? You tell me what the answer is. Read it out.
Okay. Got 201.14.
Yeah, okay. So now we're on the same page. All right, now see the difference between this question and the two that we did before? We just use a formula for these two questions and then that was the end of the question. Because these were amount, this one is interest only. And that's why we took away what we started off with, which is the 754 to see how much interest we have earned. Hopefully that makes sense. We're gonna move on. You borrow $308. So that's what the next question says. And we're gonna go back to Mohammed now. Mohammed, answer the questions about compound or simple and answer the question about whether it's interest or amount. What do you think? Answer those two questions, please.
Compound and its interest.
Interest only, perfect. So, Keja, let me come back to you. No, let me go to Elijah. Well, let me just let Courtney in here. Let me go to Elijah. Elijah, we know the principal is equal to 308. We know that part. What about the I? What is the I equal to? What do we do? Go ahead.
Oh, isn't it 6%?
0.06. We're going to divide it by anything?
Isn't it like 2?
Why would you say 2?
Because wait, huh?
Because what?
Oh, never mind.
What are we dividing by?
1.
1.
There you go, by 1, because it's annually. And the N, it says for 1 year, so it's equal to 1, but we're going to multiply that by 1 as well. Okay? Does that make sense, Elijah?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put this together now. So my A is equal to the 308. It's going to be 1 plus 0.06 divided by 1. That doesn't change it, dividing by 1 to the power of 1 times 1, which is 1. Elijah, I'm going to stick with you. Put that all in your calculator. Tell us what that total is. And then we're going to ask how to get the interest only. Go ahead, please.
Oh, like I can't see the screen.
You can't see my, oh,
Oh yeah, I can see. Yeah.
okay. And Tyrell, you just joined us. Please make sure you have your calculator with you as well.
And then that's the power to the 1, or
To the power of 1 times 1, yes. Well, 1 times 1 is just 1, so it's not going to change anything. What's your answer?
hold on. It says it's an error, but hold on.
No, you shouldn't be getting an error. So 308 times, open your bracket, 1 plus 0.06 divided by 1 raised to the power of 1.
Is this right?
I did not get that 1 year interest rate. Oh, well, we're not quite finished yet. The question is 308. Okay, sorry, I just lost your screen. Put it back again for me, please. 308. Okay, you didn't put a bracket in. Elijah, you've got to remember those brackets. You see me have a bracket around the 1 plus 0.06, right? You got to remember those brackets. Without the brackets, you're going to get it wrong.
All right.
Okay? All right. So, Mohammed, can I get your answer in the meantime, please, for that question?
Okay. 326.48.
Okay, so I'm going to write that down. 326.48. That's the amount. Is that the interest? Because when I asked the question initially, you were the one who answered it. Is that the interest?
No.
So what do I have to do?
Minus 308.
That's what we're going to do. So 326.48 minus 308. All right, KJ, give me a final answer for that, please.
I got $18.48.
Perfect. So again, see the difference between this question and the first two questions that we did. These were amount only. Sorry, these were amount. These were interest only. And that's what makes a difference for that question. I'm going to move on. Okay, let's just move on. I don't know what happened to Isaiah. Amari, you have your calculator there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So every time I started these questions, I asked the same thing. Is it compound interest or is it simple interest? That's the first question I asked. And this, I'm going to ask you that question, Amari. Tyrell, get ready to answer questions as well. Is this a compound interest question? That's the first thing. You can see the question. Can you, Amari?
Yeah, I see it. It's compound.
Because the word compound is there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my second question is, am I looking for the interest only, or am I trying to get the interest and the amount, the total amount? Which one is it that I'm trying to get for this question?
Total amount?
Absolutely. So we don't have to do that subtraction at the end that we did for the other two questions. That's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to get my I, and I'm going to get my N. All right. Tyrell, jump in here for me, please. It says compounded annually for 6 years. What should I put for my I?
I like the 6%.
Okay, so what are we going to do with the 6%? By the way, what is 6% as a decimal?
0.06.
Okay, what are we going to divide it by?
6 years.
No, not by the 6 years. You have to look for the compounding period. In this case, it's annually. So if it's annually, what does that mean you're dividing by?
I don't even remember.
Don't remember? All right. Keisha, do you remember? What do we divide by?
You divided by 1.
Correct. Got to remember that, Tyrell. Annually means you're doing it once per year. All right. Let's get to the n now. Go back to Tyrell again. What would I put for my n in this case?
Pardon?
What would I put for my n in this case?
Is it the 6 years? Like, I don't, like, to be honest, I don't even remember this stuff.
Okay, so you're gonna have to go back and review those videos again, and that's gonna be important because you're gonna be doing this assignment again. So it's 6 now times the annually, and we said, back to you again, Tyrell, annually means how many times a year again?
1.
Okay, so it's 6 times 1. So here comes the calculation. So the A is equal to the 634 times
What's it
1
called?
plus, go ahead.
I have to, like, not anytime. Like, I have to leave soon because I have work.
Okay, all right. Just make sure you watch the video later on then, okay?
Okay.
Okay, 0.06 divided by 1 raised to the power of 6 times 1. All right, so where am I at now? Mohammed, can I get an answer for you from you for that, please?
Okay. $899.34.
899, I like that answer. That's a good answer. And do I have to subtract anything from this one?
No.
Absolutely not. You're correct. You're completely correct. So that's a good question. Let's move on to the next one, number 6. All right. So, Keja, let me ask you the question. Is it simple interest or compound interest?
Simple.
Because the word compound does not appear in the question. My other question is, am I trying to find the amount which includes the interest, or is it the interest only for this question?
Interest only.
Well done. That's a completely different formula. The formula for this is that I is equal to P times R times T. That's it. Done. Just multiplying those things together gives us the interest only. So my principal here is 775. My R is the 0.07. And my T is the years, which is 8 in this case. Okay? Amari, could you work that out for us, please?
I got 434.
All right. Now, the thing about this answer is that you have to put the 2 decimal places for your answer to be completely correct. I saw some people who got this question right, but it was marked wrong because of that. So please remember that when you're doing this online. Put those 2 decimal. Don't forget the $sign and don't forget the 0.00. Okay? Can we move on to the next one? Okay. All right. Number 7. Mohammed, compound or simple?
Simple.
Good. The word compound doesn't appear there. Is it the amount or is it the, Terrell, you tell me, is it the amount or is it the interest only for this question that's under the camera right now? Number 7.
If they're looking for the amount or the interest.
Yeah, I'm asking if it's the interest only or is it the amount?
The amount.
Let's see now. Put in what will be the balance. That's correct. That is the amount. Well done. Okay. So that's a different formula. Let me just write the formula down again for you. It says that A for simple interest is equal to the P 1 plus the rate times the time. That's your formula right there. That's all we need for that one. So there's no compounding period because it's not a compound interest question. Let's put our numbers in now. So that would be 201 multiplied by 1. The R here is 0.09. And we're going to multiply that by 4. Okay? All right. So, Tyrell, you have your calculator nearby?
That's okay.
Okay, so that's what I have there. I'd like you to try to put that in your calculator right now. Don't forget those brackets. That's important.
Okay, I have it. It's 273.36.
Correct. All right, we don't have to take anything out of this. this is the answer to the question, right? If they asked us for interest, you wouldn't even have used this formula. We'd use a different formula for simple interest. Number 8. All right. Let's see now. Amari, tell me whether this is simple interest or compound interest. Number 8.
Simple.
Nice, because there's no mention of compound anywhere. Second question, Amari, I'm going to stick with you. Is it that I want to know the amount, the total amount of money, or just the interest?
Interest.
Why do you think that?
Because it's only saying after 9 years.
No, that's not the difference though. The difference is the question asking me for all the money I have, including what I put in, or is it asking how much interest I've earned?
Yeah, it was only asking how much you've made, how much money you'll have after 9 years.
So that includes the original principal, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not asking just for interest alone. I'm asking for both interest and principal combined. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so let's put the formula. Not this formula. It's not this. This is interest. Sorry, it is this formula. So it's not this formula, which is just interest alone. It's this formula here, which is interest and principal together. So my A is equal to the 201. Sorry, that's the wrong number. That's the wrong number. My A is equal to the 823 multiplied by 1 plus 0.03 multiplied by 9. Okay. All right, Mohammed, give me a number for that, please.
1045.21.
Excellent. All right, we're going to put all these answers into the computer in a second, just to make sure that we got them right. Let's move along. A few more questions here. Number 9. Keja, I'm going to ask you the first 2 questions, which is simple interest or compound interest for that question.
Simple.
All right, do I need to find out just interest alone, or is it the interest and the principal together, which is the amount?
Interest alone.
Absolutely. So simple formula, I equals P times R times T. So my P is my 482. My R is my 0.05. And my T is 3. So Keja, give me an answer, please.
Okay. I got $72.30.
Well done. And again, what I saw some people do is they put 3 and they didn't put the 0. That's going to make it look wrong. To the computer doesn't really discriminate. It just wants the actual exact answer. So $72.30 sounds good to me. Moving along. Tyrell, is this a simple, number 10, is this a simple interest question or a compound interest question? What do you say?
I can't really see because it's super blurry.
Super blurry. All right, let's see if we can fix that a little bit.
You said for number 10?
Yeah, number 10.
Once again, that's actually
Simple interest or compound interest? What did you say? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
yeah, I was trying to think if it was simple, but I don't think so.
Well, the clue is if the word compound is not in the question, then it's simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Okay, good. So it's a simple interest question. Last question. Is it going to be the interest only, or is it the total amount of money I have in my account for this question?
Wait, for me?
Yes, for Tyrell again.
Wait, what was the question?
The question is, so you told me that's a simple interest, and I agree, because it doesn't say compound in it. Is this interest only, or is it the interest and the principal combined together?
Here's the interest.
It's only interest, because it does say what, oh no, so it says what will be the balance at the end of 6 years. So it means that the balance includes your interest. It's those two things together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the formula now. That's the formula that says that my amount is equal to my principal, which is 939, times 1 plus the interest rate of how do I put 8%? Let me go to Amari now. Give me, to finish up this formula, what do I put for the I and what do I put for the T for this one? 1 plus what?
So you want to put 1 plus 0.08%.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the T, you want to put times 6.
So times 6, perfect. All right, work that out for me now, please.
Hold on, sorry, I did something wrong. Is it 1,389.72?
Of course it is. Okay, number 11, Kaja, your time. Simple interest or compound interest?
Simple.
Is it interest only or is it interest and principal? Is it the amount? Which one?
Interest only.
Perfect. So what's the formula that I need? Sorry about that. Let me just mute my microphone for a second here. Sorry, go ahead. Which formula am I going to use for this then?
P times R times T.
As easy as that. So I equals P times R times T. And my P here is 269. My R here is 0.10. And my T is 5. So Kaja, give me an answer, please.
Um, 134.50.
So 134.50.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And one more question. It's the last question. How much interest? Well, you can read the question for yourself, hopefully. Let me make sure it's all in view. All right. And let's see now. Mohammed, simple or compound?
Compound.
Perfect. Am I looking for the interest only or the interest and the principal combined together?
Interest and principal combined together.
Read the question again.
Oh, interest only.
There you go. So we have one more step left after we get the amount. So let's go through it. We know what the principal is, but what about the I? And what about the N? Let me get to the I first. Mohammed, let me stick with you. What's the I in this case?
0.08 divided by 365.
Well done. And how about the N?
8 times 365.
No, it's compounded for 1 year.
Oh, 1 times 365.
There you go. The 8 is the 6%, is a percentage rate. So here we go. So the A is equal to the 573 times 1 plus 0.08 divided by 365 raised to the power of 1 times 365 is just 365. So I just put 365 here. All right. So actually, Mohammed, since we're with you, just work that out for me, please, and tell us what that answer is.
620.72.
I'll write that down, 620.72. That's
Yep.
my amount. Is that my final answer though, Amari? Is there is anything else I need to do, or is that my final answer?
You have to do one more thing.
What more thing? Tell me what the one more thing is. You're right. But what do I do?
Is it subtraction?
Subtract what?
Or the final answer with that 573 started with?
Absolutely. So I equals the 6, and I'm going to ask you to do that for us, please.
All right.
Tell us what that number is.
Okay, sorry. It's 47.72.
All right. So here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to bring up the, thank you very much, all of you, by the way. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the screen. Where am I at now? Da, da, da. One second here. Okay, hopefully you're seeing my screen right now. Everybody seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
so what I'm doing is I'm logging into my Zoom, so my Teacher Ease account as if I'm a student, and I'm going to go to where my assignments are. You can see my assignments button right here. And the finance review quiz is the one I'm doing. Now, I got some answers before, and what I did is, this is Michael Kamuk's work you're looking at. I'm going to go back in and look at my answers again. So this question was, how much interest does a 482 investment? Now, I don't know if you remember this question, but we did do all of them. So I'm just going to look back at my answers and see if I got this one right. 72.30, that sounds right. So I'm going to go to the next question. This was $562 into an investment.
Wait, why is there a time limit?
Why is there a time limit? Because there is a time limit for this one. When you're doing the test the next time. No, you're not getting graded on this one. This one is just for practice. But when you're doing the test the next time, there will be a time limit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I have to go to work though, so.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. I'll post the video for later. 693.32 for this one at 562. Did I put that in right? 693.32 is good. There is something that I got wrong. I'm just going to go back and fix it now. 201 into an investment for 9 years, 273.36. Okay, this is wrong by a penny. Let me change that. Okay, 273.36. Oh, I need to save it. Save and continue. Okay. And oh, I thought that I was going to get a chance to, and I was going to hand in now. I think there was more than one question I got wrong. But anyway, when you press hand in now, right after you enter all your answers, it should actually be able to tell you when you go to review exactly how you did. So we got that right. Let me go back to the summary. Oh, we got this one wrong. Puts 562 in. Where's this one wrong? 562. This should have been 693.32. Well, you know what? Why is this answer wrong? What's wrong with this answer? What's wrong with my answer? Same numbers. So why is this answer wrong?
You forgot to put the dollar sign.
There you go. That's exactly right. Okay, what else did I get wrong again? No. I think it was the last one. No, looks like we're good here. All right, so just watch out for things like that. The other thing is I said to you that a question like, where is it again? No, this one here, just make sure you put your zeros in, 434.00. All right? All right, folks, I'm gonna leave it there. Unless there are any other questions, I'm gonna reassign it. I'm gonna change. Sure, go ahead.
You know the next quiz we do?
Yeah.
Will it count for marks?
The one that is just sort of changing just one number for you to try this again, it won't count for marks. But when I reassign this the second time around, it will. So I just want everybody to be more comfortable with getting the right answer. A lot of people didn't do so well on this. I'm not calling any names. I'm just saying a lot of people didn't do well on it. So I want to give you a second chance to do a better job without it reflecting in your mark. And then after that, the third time around, it will count. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second time you're doing this is still not going to count. It's still going to be a 0 weight on your marks.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much for coming, and I'll post this video and I'll send you the link later on. Okay, bye, folks.
Bye.